Well, YouTube, what's going on? We're going to look at a lot of cool stuff. And things have been coming in a little bit slower past few weeks just because really not a lot of stuff on the pegs. Been a few premium stuff I've been snagging, but other than that, for premium diecast, stuff that we have on the channel mostly, it's been kind of slow. Let's take a look at some things. Now, this one came out, I think, a month or 2 months ago, and I finally decided to pick it up. Let's take a look. M2. Now, the Mercury brand Highboy pickup. So in North America, Mercury made pickup trucks, light duty trucks, sometimes medium duty trucks, I believe, at some point. But this one, 1967 M100 custom. Now it looks like a 250 chassis. One in 9500. Really cool period packaging. That truck talk with your Mercury dealer. So they did the vans, the pickups, the box vans, things like that. Medium duty tractors, I think, at some point. But Mercury was sold in the United States, but they also did it in Canada. And that was kind of popular too, to have Mercury trucks up there. Also, Plymouth and Fargo, those also were a lot of trucks that we had here, but also up there and up north. And this probably could have been either one. Not a lot of step sides that I've seen in real life. Mid-60s trucks, typically, I'd see things like recall, but pretty much a Ford F100 truck with Mercury badges, pretty much. Same power plant options. But you had a large, wide range of cars at these dealerships, and it was nice to probably be able to have a pickup truck so they didn't have to go down to the Ford dealer and lose that sale. It's probably the majority of the reason why this even existed. You know, you could have back then a successful Lincoln Mercury dealer and be pretty big, and probably this would help, having a few of these units around. Now, I didn't really read into it too much, so I might be missing some of the details, but typically that's what happened. You know, me too, I want to have it too for my dealership for when I'm selling. These M2s, this casting is getting older, but it still does well. Sometimes they paint the grills a little bit heavy-handed like this, but we can fix that up. It'll look a lot better. Put a black wash on there for the grill, and then clean up the headlight buckets, and we'll be in business. All right, we've looked at this. We've talked about these trucks on the channel. Go back in the archive. It's a casting that's been on the channel many times. All right, and it's release 89. Wide release. It's not just a Walmart exclusive. So you should be able to find it. Okay, let's look at another vehicle. I found this today, and this will go with my M2 Dodges. I brought a couple down from the shelf that were the special edition. This is release 77 of the double series. 79 Power Wagon, 150, pick 'em up, and a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner. Supposed to have a Hemi in it, so we'll look at that too. This is one of 7250. Of course, it's not a chase. That's kind of cool. And then there's your information down here. So let's make quick work of opening this up. Let's see how fast I can do this. All right, typically they have two, but they only have one sticker, so we'll do that. Get the blade. And then we will put this on there. Make sure we don't tear this. Helps to get something under there, under than a finger, and then typically you won't have to worry about really cool background, I must say. Alright, so let's get this out of here for now. Of course, we got this. So I'm probably not gonna take the car off, but I'll take the truck off. These cases, the price is moving up on these. It used to be pretty inexpensive. Now they're pretty expensive. So small screws. We'll see if this has, a lot of these 4-wheel drive trucks have a bridge. So we'll see how this works. Yeah, this one's got the bridge in it. So to do that, actually, I kind of like that because the screws are shorter, and this prevents the tires from being smashed down on the base. It used to be when they would tighten those screws. Smash on the base, and then you get flat spots on these tires. I'm trying to rush the screw out of here. It's not coming. There we go. So there's the rig, and look at this. We got a Roadrunner in a minute. Let's take a look at this. So got some of my friends here. I ended up wanting this. This car actually was on sale, so I definitely picked it up. But you know, some of the stores charge $20 for these things, so I'm not always in a rush to get them like I used to. They do make, like, this is going to be probably a paint scheme that you can't get. They probably won't do it again. And it's really stock, except for the wheels. Wheels are aftermarket style, like the B-lock, but the truck itself is sweet, and looks awesome with the red. So I think the only one else would be silver or black, would be something that they probably did this truck in. But you can really see the letters there a little bit easier than the red. This one's got a hitch on it, of course. Probably leave the hitch on it, why not? This one you could see I adjusted the back spacing, so see that? Let me look at this. A little in for my taste, especially with these aftermarket tires and wheels. They had some pretty big tires for these trucks, but not that big, so needs a little bit of adjustment. This is a 7. I don't know if this is a 79 like this one was. Let me read. Yeah, it's a 79. So obviously the grill is a lot different. We definitely probably need to look the grill up and maybe do some painting here on this one. You can see I did some black wash on this one, and I did it. So this is more of a stock wheel. Would have had this wagon wheel style, which M2 does a pretty good job of, actually. I didn't do a perfect job on the black wash, but it looks a lot better. So this wheel will look a lot better too if we do the right treatment to it. But this one was pretty clean. There was about 5 of them out at once, and I had to look through them. There's some paint defects on a couple of them, and then a couple others, the beds were kind of crooked. So out of all those, this one, to me, this one and another one, I was kind of competing with which one to buy. This one seems to be decent. Even the hood's not even perfect in there, but it's not bad. Let's see what kind of plant we got in this. Yeah, nice stock Chrysler motor. I don't think this one is any different. Yeah. Radiator support there is a little bit different color. Really, the only M2s I don't get a lot or don't really buy are the ones that are for O'Reilly's, and they seem to make some really cool ones in general, like any release, like the C10s, the OBSs, that kind of stuff. They have some pretty cool O'Reilly's, and they go for big money. But it seems like the O'Reilly's people, a lot of those guys and gals are diecast people too, so they end up getting the vehicles. And the other thing is they really mark them up. Like these are $10 a single, like singles, and then the special stuff can be like 20, like the ornaments and stuff. So kind of out on all that. Those prices, even not even close. And M2's been going up anyway in general. So there we go. All right, very happy to have that truck. Very, very cool truck. Take a look at the car a little bit. This is one of their full car lead tail ones with the metal chassis. I don't think I have a Roadrunner car. I don't think this even opens. It might, but I don't want to chance it. I can rip that hood off right now. It's pretty cool. You know, car that's like getting restored or whatever. See the doors, different door. It's supposed to be a Hemi car, so even in that state of this car, it's worth a ton of money. But maybe this is back in the 70s and they're pulling the car out, in which case that car probably would have been a $500 car, $1,000 car. You know, mid to late 70s. I mean, the 80s they started to go up a little bit, but they really were, you know, the gas prices and everything, and people kind of moving on from this. Wow, be able to get one of these. How about it? Let's take a look a little bit closer. So I got the Steelies, which you could get the car without the caps like that. So they just have the Steelies from the factory, no caps. Front end's a little weird. This is an early casting from M2. So yeah, like the grill's a little thin. The body's not bad, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, the shape of this car. It's looking much yellower on camera, but it's a pale yellow in person. So it has that factory yellow. Let's look at the back. I think I have one Superbird, or not Superbird, but Roadrunner. That's a little bit better detail than this. Kind of like an earlier release. So, I don't know. I might get rid of this car and sell it. Alright, so put this back for now. Keep the truck out because I've got this for the pickup. I mean, really. Okay. The dirt that came out of there, a little plastic. Okay. All right, we're going to jump to Greenlight, and then we're going to look at these vans that are incredible. 74 Thunderbird. So, kind of like the first, for me, seeing like a stock version of this casting. Greenlight last year, or beginning of this year, got that Crow version where it was like jacked up car, had the blower on it coming out of the hood work. So, now we got a stock Thunderbird. Now, this is a great set. They changed the graphics for Showroom series, I think, to reflect the fact that they didn't want a completely modern background, which was on the old Showroom series. Now they're going to do older cars, not just like up-to-date vehicles. So the Suburban's a must-have, the Caddy probably, but definitely the Crown Vic. That car is getting sold out. And it's a gray, silverish car. You know, all gray, triple gray car. Has the half final top. That car looks like Matlock car, so that's a definitely big thing for me. I like all those old shows. I don't know why, but I've always have. It's probably because the cars in it more than anything else, really. You know, that show and a bunch of others. You know, I'm sure everybody has their favorite, but that's one of them. So you had the box Crown Victoria. You know, he had like 5 different Crown Vics all through the years, all the way up till he stopped the show in the 90s. So he went all the way up to like the 96 Vic or 98. One of those model, 94 Crown Vic. So he had all of them. But this is one of them, the 91. So we're going to look at the 74 Thunderbird. Car's also on the Lincoln Mark IV Continental. But this is the Thunderbird. So this is 74, and this car is when they started having to do the big bumpers. And so the design, the first designs like in the early 70s on this platform look really slick for a Ford of the 70s. I mean, most Fords are pretty straight, but in diecast form, this car looks really good. Really good that Greenlight tried to do the painted caps. No, I did touch them up a little bit. They are pretty blue, but there was some chrome showing in areas that shouldn't. So I used some of my transparent blue, which is actually a really close color to the factory blue. that I had on hand. And I just kind of painted in there and built it up a little bit stronger to be a little bit more blue. If you look at Google Images for 74 Thunderbird, you'll actually pull up a car that was sold recently that was this car, and I think they must have based the graphics team, the design team must have based it on this car because it's a triple blue, like low mileage, 19,000 mile car, whatever like that. Big block Ford, 460 in it, and 427, one of those motors. And like this with the blue caps, which I believe those caps that were color matched, that was an option. I don't think it was standard. But anyway, the car's on there, so take a look. It's really cool to compare this to the actual car. And they did a really good job. Some of the things that are a little bit different that, you know, it's kind of not too big of a deal, but the way this looks in person is different. Greenlight kind of just did this a straight line where it has some curvature to it. But that's, I mean, it stands out when you compare this to a picture, but other than that, I mean, when you look at this car from your memory and from the proportions on your desk, the car looks great. It rolls really good. I mean, I did have to change some of the white walls to ones I had as spares or swap them with other cars. Some of the white walls are really crooked on these rims, so I had to change the tires. But other than the tire change, I didn't do anything. I didn't have to touch up the headlights. I didn't have to do the side markers. I did put my clear coat on all the trim here and the wheels, so, and the chrome, so it doesn't rub off. Because this will probably be a pocket car for a little bit. It's a really cool vehicle. Hopefully I find some more. Right now, the only place I've seen these debuted has been Target. Target was kind of the one that carried the Showroom series the most. Meijer really doesn't do it. And Hobby Lobby used to do pretty much all of them, but they've kind of scaled back too. So you're gonna have to be out on the lookout for Target or online. This car is sold out. A lot of these cars have been selling out. The brown Suburban, I'll probably find it. It's popular, but it's not crazy popular. Like the Crown Vic got sold really fast, and so did this car, and then that Cadillac is probably the next one. It's like a greenish brown. So really cool car. This one has the blue leather, dark blue vinyl top. Just awesome car. And this car, a lot of people like this car on Instagram. I put it on Instagram a couple of days ago, and people seem to like it. So it's a favorite of mine. Hopefully, they do it in green. All right, so now we've looked at some pretty cool castings, I'd say. But these are going to take the cake. So I saw these out on Instagram at the beginning of the year. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to do these vehicles. I'm like, what? They're going to do that? So very out of left field. These cars have really never been done in a smaller scale. Maybe that was done maybe in some off-brand, but... And I think, well, the Hot Wheels, that one Hot Wheels casting, but that was a Ford Aerostar. So I don't know of really too many Astros that have been done. There might have been some 1/32 like pullback maybe I played with when I was little, but nothing like this. So I got one of each. And a lot of other people have looked at these online already. But this, as you know, where I ordered them from, took a minute. So, but they came in safe and sound. And here they are. I'm sure these are going to be wildly popular. They're still available online, eBay. They have, these are 1994 models. So they chose a vehicle right before the facelift in 95. So went from 85 to 05, and then basically 95 to 05 was the facelift, but had the 2.5 liter Iron Duke on the base vinyls, the cargo van, the short wheelbase. And then they had the 4.3 liter V6. They never had the 2.8 in it. But 4.3 V6, Carbureted first year in '85, which is kind of funny. Wonder if that, and it was a 4 barrel, so I wonder how good that ran. It might have been pretty decent. And then they had TBI, so they had throttle body, fuel injection. They went to multi-ports. They started using the Vortec 6 on it, I believe, and that had multi-port fuel injection. So a few different motors, but not much. They also offered 5-speed transmission, T5. That was kind of funny. And it was like a mix of General Motors parts on these vehicles. It was like subframe on the two-wheel drives came from like the B-body cars, like Caprice and the Roadmaster, things like that, or other full size like the Cadillac, Fleetwood cars. They had the lower ball joints from the big Fleetwoods. So it was kind of a cool mix. It had leaf springs in the back. Now these are the all-wheel drive versions that Tomica did. And all-wheel drive, that debuted in 1990. What's cool about this is the long wheelbase. The short wheelbase, I think, went all the way up to 90 or 95, something like that. Wrote some of this down because they kind of fooled with this van throughout its life. But this is the long wheelbase. The short wheelbase vans, the window's a little bit smaller, and then the back, when you look at this back pillar, it's like right against the glass. So that's easy to tell the difference. The short ones are kind of cool. This one had like these door arrangements that didn't last forever, but they were called these like the Dutch door. So you'd have this rear gate pop up, and then these two would swing out like little mini doors. They also had a barn door arrangement. So it was really that or this type of arrangement. But I don't think they ever did a total tailgate that lifted up because that would have been nuts. Trying to lift that thing up because that was pretty big. Looking at that glass, make sure it's not out. So optional rims on both. One has like the rallies and steelies, and then this one has the alloy wheels. This one has the trim rings on it with the two-tone. You'll also notice that this van has a side marker. So I'm almost curious to know if this one is like overseas type of vehicle, but who knows. Now it's also 94. They took this detail. You had the old school grill before they changed the grill. So it had the original grill, but it had the better motor. The 4060 Turbo 700, however kind of in that time frame, so 4-speed automatic. And they also went up with the center mounted stop lamp. So that one came out in 94, I guess. So that was kind of cool. So they really did a spot on 94 because it had its kind of unique treatment. A little nick there. I don't know why. But good thing it's in the black, so we can take a little black and fix that. Rest of them are flawless. Roll real good. I didn't have to do anything to the tires. Watch this. So we can see how nicely that rolls. Solid axle. No suspension. These are constructed like the North American Land Cruisers that I got last year. Rubber tire on the back, and then you can see the subframe, which was outsourced. They did an engineering company to make this subframe on the van, and put the all-wheel drive system in. It's Borg Wagner transfer case. It would fit back there, and then you have your front axle. So a lot of stuff too. They shared a lot of parts with the S10s, those trucks. So a lot of that stuff. Also, what they did, GM did this with this van, probably because packaging issues, but they went to a Hydro Boost brake setup after 90. And that one was basically get your pressure from your power steering pump instead of your vacuum assist canister. So a little bit different there. General Motors like that Hydro Boost stuff. They used them on Turbo Regals too. Look at that. This thing is sweet. Really sweet. Bigger than the minivans from Chrysler, which, do I have one out? I'd like to show a size comparison. No, I do not have one. But this was like kind of like the Ford Aerostar is like, well, you could have a minivan, but it is a little bit smaller. You can't tow anything with it, that kind of thing. So they kind of had these vans as an upgrade to someone who need a little bit more performance. a little bit more capacity. I think these had like a 5,500 pound towing, maybe a little bit more. Take a look at this rear bumper. They have the painted part right there, and then they have the chrome. I mean, just like the real vehicle. What a tremendous, tremendous truck. The other thing that was kind of weird about this van, not only has side markers, but it has this exhaust system like this. And I know that in some countries, they require the exhaust to be straight out, I think. They don't let them come out the side. I think that was a regulation. So someone correct me. Got a metal base, this with plastic pieces. So we can go on and on about these vans, but just went over the highlights of them. Beautiful vehicles, excellent work by Tomica, a little pricey. That's why I don't buy Tomica, but they do throw us a bone, or throw me a bone once in a while. So I really don't like the JDM stuff, even though it's cool. I just can't go down that rabbit hole. And plus, the cars are right-hand drive. I just don't like that. So when they do the North American stuff, like when they did these Land Cruisers, which is another like top casting of all time for me. I mean, look how perfect this is. So the level of craftsmanship, I mean, they're great. I mean, they're worth the money. Unfortunately, got to pay it, but whatever. I mean, it's pretty much the best. And of course, a lot of you people probably notice they have the mirrors on these, so you don't have to attach them either. A lot of the cars they sell, you got to glue the mirrors on and take that risk to do it yourself. And if you're not used to doing things like that, and have the proper tools, it can be intimidating. So there you go. You have your mirrors. So here are those vans. Hope everybody enjoyed watching today. We got more coming, but again, it just depends on what I can find. That's how fast these videos come out. So hope everybody's been enjoying the show. Hope everybody's getting ready for the holidays. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully everybody gets a good variety of your favorites in your stocking and down the chimney. But of course we'll have more shows between now and the end of the year, so stay tuned. Thanks for all the new subscription, thumbs up, and the nice comments. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope everybody enjoyed. Again, the castings that we looked at today, I really, really do like what I'm seeing through the diecast world. So hopefully get more stuff like this. Can you only imagine if Tomica would make cars like that? how amazing those would look. It would probably make this look like a toy, even though this is a really, really good casting. But this, everybody can agree. And these are on pretty much a different level. So more to come. Till next time.